Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be making a parsnip and cauliflower soup. We ended up getting quite the haul of parsnips this fall, and we thought soup would be a great thing as the weather's cooling off now. So here you can see this is about 2 pounds of parsnips. We already cut them up into these nice small pieces. A lot of recipes just call for this size, so whether you want to use them for fries, soup, whatever, this is a great way to cut them up and store them. And we are using cauliflower instead of potatoes, just as a good substitute. Nightshades can be inflammatory for a lot of people, so it's just kind of a change. And cauliflower could be argued to be slightly healthier depending on which group you fall into. But we're gonna go ahead and make this, and hopefully it'll be a nice hearty soup to keep us warm as the snow starts to fly here. So to go ahead and get started, we'll head over to the stove here, and you'll see I have a large stock pot on the stove. We're actually going to start by sauteing in this pot so we don't have to dirty more dishes. And we'll turn this on, medium low, medium heat, depending on your stove. You probably know best if it runs hot or cold. And we'll just use a little bit of, we're using olive oil. Feel free to use your favorite cooking oil. But then we're going to use the equivalent of a small onion, or as you can see here, we're actually using leeks because we had a bunch of those from the garden. So just roughly, I don't know, a little over half a cup, 3/4 cup onion that we'll go ahead and put in with our oil. And we're going to saute this for 8 to 10 minutes just to kind of soften it up. Again, if you're using smaller pieces, it'll obviously be less time. So we'll just want to heat this up, kind of get it nice and brown. And then once your onions have just started to caramelize, started to brown, we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, or the equivalent of about 4 cloves of garlic. Again, add more or less if you like garlic, but we are using the pre-minced stuff just to make it easier. And then we'll do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg in here. If you want, you can go ahead and add a sprig of rosemary. We're not doing that just because we don't have it, but that's an optional add-in. So we'll go ahead and saute this and check back in with you once we're done cooking our leeks down. So you can see we've kind of cooked this down. They're lightly browned. We have our garlic that's kind of browned in there too with our leeks or onions. And we put some nutmeg in there. Next, we're going to add in our cauliflower. So this will be about 2 cups of cauliflower florets, or 8 ounces if you want to go by weight. And we'll put those in. It's not a huge matter in order. I'm just adding them in so we don't splash water up if we do that second. Then we're going to continue by adding our parsnips. And so this will be around 3 medium parsnips, or 12 ounces if you want the weight. And then we'll start adding in our liquid. So if you are using chicken stock, you'll only add in 2 cups of water and 2 cups of chicken stock. We, however, are using chicken bouillon. So we're going to add 4 cups of water. Put that in here. And 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. And then we're going to let this boil until our cauliflower and parsnips are tender, cooked, however you want to say it. So this will be about 20 minutes. You'll want to stir this occasionally just to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. If it doesn't seem like you have enough water, feel free to add more because we can boil it down at the end. But you want it to be a fairly thick soup. So we'll raise the heat on this and bring it to a boil, and then we'll just simmer it for about 20 minutes until these are tender. And then we'll check back in. Put it down. I went ahead and transferred it already, so you didn't have to watch that. But you'll want to transfer your soup mix into a blender or food processor. Keep in mind this is hot, so you can see I have a washcloth here. I'm just using that to cover the spout because we don't want it sealed, as it will blow the cover off even if you have a lock on there. So we'll go ahead and blend it until it is smooth. And Then we will transfer it back to our pot to add the cream. Alright, so you can see it's a pretty thick, creamy soup here. We might run it a little bit more if you can see chunks, but otherwise we'll go with this. And then we'll stir in a 1/3 cup of either heavy cream or half and half if you want slightly less calories. But we'll just mix that in, and then you can serve it warm or reheat as desired. As I mentioned, we'll be using heavy cream. You can use half and half. You could probably even use whole milk if you like. We like the creaminess of the heavy cream. So we'll just go ahead and put that in here. We don't have heat to our burner right now. We don't want the cream to, I don't know, we're not really trying to cook the cream. We just want to mix it in. So you can zoom in here and you can just kind of see that nice white color it adds to this. And we'll just mix that up fairly well. If you think your soup is too thick, I feel like this is a good consistency, but if you want it thinner, go ahead and add hot water. We will be leaving it as is. So you can go ahead and just serve it as soon as that's mixed in. And you have a cauliflower and parsnip soup. A good way to garnish this would be either with some chives or maybe the green parts of your leeks if you use the leeks. You could also use cut up pieces of parsnips on top. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did like it, leave us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. You can also head over to the blog that is linked in the description for a full printable recipe. Thanks so much and have a great day.